Hare Krishna, everyone. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Krishna, Madan Sundar Prabhu. Hare Krishna to everyone. Welcome back. Now we are starting from text 30, first chapter, 30th verse. Arjuna is continuing his problems. Basically, it began with him telling Krishna to take the chariot in the midst of the two armies, and just see what is he complaining now. Text 30. न च शक्नोम्यवस्थातुं भ्रमतीव च मे मनः निमित्तानि च पश्यामि विपरीतानि केशव. I am now unable to stand here any longer. I am forgetting myself and my mind is reeling. I see only causes of misfortune, O Krishna, killer of the Keshi demon. Now, friends, when Arjuna takes Krishna's names which deal with him killing big, formidable enemies like Keshava, means one who successfully killed the demon Keshi, who came in the form of a horse. Arjuna actually is hinting that why don't you kill this problem? You can kill so many demons, so why don't you kill this problem of mine? And let's see this list of complaints. He has become impatient. He's saying, I'm unable to stay on this battlefield. Imagine, I am forgetting myself on account of this weakness of mind. How do you forget yourself? Like Madan Sundar, I know one boy, of course now he's a grown-up man with kids. He would study hard, fairly honestly. The examination hall he enters, sits on his desk, the paper comes blank, completely blank. And that's when his father came and he said, can you help him? So I asked him, what exactly are you experiencing? He said, I forget myself. I don't know who I am and what am I doing here. And as soon as the last bell tolls, everybody hands in their answer papers, comes back to normal. So I don't hope that any of our audience here, experience this yourself, but you could have somebody feeling these symptoms. But friends, this is very normal nowadays. Mental health, just aside, His Holiness Bhaktitirtha Maharaj, one of my most beloved Shiksha Gurus, he had told in 1998 or 97 that the 21st century will be the century of mental health and concomitant diseases. And I was thinking, really? He said yes. He had some high-level discussions with people from WHO and other doctors, and they said that allopathy would be successful in kind of controlling so many physical diseases, but in front of the mental disease front, they would practically be helpless and hopeless. So Arjuna is saying, a person of Arjuna's stature is saying, I'm forgetting myself. Reason? Prabhupada gives a hint. Excessive attachment for material things puts one in such a bewildering condition of existence. Attachment is of two types, positive or repulsion, which is another side of the same coin. I'll just say one point and then you can add what you have. This special words from Srimad Bhagavatam 11:2-37. Bhayam ditya biniveshatasya. Bhayam. People trying to understand, like so many books about how to conquer this fear of speaking, how to conquer the fear of selling, how to conquer the fear of studying hard, blah, 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 blah. So many books coming out in the market, self-help section. But still fearfulness is very much there. How do we tackle that? Such fearfulness, Prabhupada explains here, and loss of mental equilibrium take place in persons who are too affected by material conditions. So Arjuna is thinking only painful reverses. I would be injured. My brothers, my relations, they could be injured. I would not be happy even by gaining victory over my enemy. And that is the reason why he's just thinking that I can't stand this. I'm leaving. I'm forgetting myself. My mind is reeling. I only see misfortune. Whoa, it's like he's not started to wail, but we can kind of imagine what could be Arjuna's situation. What would you say?
I mean, yeah, uh, we all have undergone this experience, and probably we goes even now to certain extent. Two things I would like to mention here, as you were highlighting, when you were speaking, a particular verse was ringing in my head. It's from this particular Bhagavad Gita only, where Krishna says, "Manha shashtran indriyani prakriti sthani karshati." Because we're
Hmm.
talking about lack of understanding of identity. Krishna says, Mamayavam sujiva loka jiva bhuta sanatana. Every living entity is my part and parcel. Because we are under this identity crisis, not knowing to whom we belong, who we are, what happens? Mana shashtani indriyani prakriti sthani karshati. We are unnecessarily, even Krishna is astonished, that unnecessarily you are struggling with the senses and the mind. And here here Arjuna says, actually Prabhupada writes, that his mind is reeling. His mind has become perturbed. Because of what? Because he's identifying more with his family members. So the crisis faced by Arjuna was not a very normal or regular crisis. We all come across crisis on an everyday account. Crisis often said to be of two kinds: moral crisis and ethical crisis. Moral crisis tells us, it's pretty easy to define what is right and wrong in moral crisis. Moral, immoral. Ethical, where both the options seems appropriate. And that's what happened with Arjuna. He really got caught up into it, to protect or to follow Kula Dharma or Kshatriya Dharma. Kula Dharma means family, protect my family members. Kuru Vamsha is my family. Kshatriya Dharma, should I punish those who have performed sinful actions? As a Kshatriya, he's supposed to do that. Srila Prabhupada will mention these points in the verses ahead. So he's got too much mental about it. The point I want to bring about over here is, similarly, we also get too much caught up about problem consciousness. Here Arjuna has got into this problem zone, and he really cannot think out of it. And being in a problem zone, he can only envision destruction and devastation. And that's the reason why he's got into this whole sense of fear, loss of equilibrium. His mind is reeling. Frankly speaking, if in case we ever been into a situation like this, we cannot help ourselves out of it. And we'll see
True.
that.
Very true.
We need somebody else who is out of the situation to give us a helping hand and pull us out of this muck. Otherwise, we are gone into it. So that's what kind of thing is happening here with Arjuna. And as you Prabhupada highlights, and you mentioned, Prabhuji, too much mental attachment and all that, that has overtaken his mind. He's caught up into that. Few thoughts on
So,
that.
the next point, the next important point here is the two words of this verse, nimittani and viparitani. So, nimittani is translated as causes, and viparitani is just the opposite. So, in plain English, why all these things are happening to Arjun? Because he's thinking this battle will cause just the opposite of my desires. I am going to get just the very opposite of what I came here for. So, viparitani is painful reverses. Like somebody is seeing only frustration. If I can see only frustration all around me, hey, why am I here? Now, this is something where I would describe the Gita giving a jolt, like a solid million volt jolt. Why am I here? What am I supposed to do? Why am I forced to fight? So everyone is interested in himself and his own welfare. Fair enough. Everyone has the right to say that, I need to look after my welfare. Psychologists today use a very common term. We are all tuned into this FM station, WIIFM. What's in it for me? whether it's education, sports, entertainment, business, every adventure, every undertaking, what's in it for me? Friends, the Gita tells you what about the Supreme Self? Now, for the first time, somebody may say, is there something like it? I thought this world is like finders keepers. You find something, you take it. As long as be ethical means, well, just don't rock the apple cart too much. Don't infringe upon others' property. So this brings to a very simple thing. Can somebody be good without being spiritually enlightened? Is it okay that I don't need the Gita? Okay, I am born in India. I do visit the temple sometimes. But you guys are too much. I mean, you say that we have to become a devotee, we have to become a bhakti yogi. Can't I do all this without the externals of being a devotee? Here is something. Let us say four thieves steal cash from a bank, and now they have gone back to their hideout, and the police are already on their trail. As the police close in and they are about to apprehend them, they hear of the four one gang member saying, "Hey, please divide it honestly, correct? It has to be 25% each." Now, at a micro level, these four sharing everything 25% each is very ethical, isn't it? But at a macro level, this whole thing is looted. It doesn't belong to them. So how can there be honor? How can there be honesty? So here, when we say, where we read here that Prabhupada is saying, uh, no one is interested in the Supreme Self. Arjuna is showing ignorance of his real self-interest by Krishna's will. So Arjuna is like play acting. You and me are not. You and me, being conditioned souls, we are actually forgetting this. And that is the cause of our material pains. So Arjuna thought that his victory in the battle would only be a cause of lamentation. We may also view this lamentation, but we may say, "Nahi, he can be victorious as Krishna is his chariot driver." Arjuna will not go to the heavenly planets, as will those he kills, but at least he will win the kingdom. But Arjun does not consider a kingdom worth the sinful reaction which will come to him by fighting and killing. He is only considering how the battle will affect him, and he sees only results opposite to his desires. So, since I won't gain anything, I would become sinful, I will become affected. This is my understanding of this grand plan. The result? Total frustration, total chaos. And his describing that, how I only see misfortune, I only see misfortune, I only see misfortune. Oh, there are two, three nice things I left out. So, one's real self-interest lies in Vishnu or Krishna. These are the last lines of Prabhupada's explanation. The conditioned soul, you and me, we forget this. Forgetfulness brings material pangs. So therefore, Arjuna thought that if at all there is victory, still that victory would only be a cause of lamentation. So the central point is our real self-interest lies in understanding what Krishna wants. In Nectar of Devotion, Prabhupada explains, Krishna is like the main switch. The main switch is off, and you are complaining AC is not working, sound system not working, fan not working, mic not working, lights not working. Obviously, put the main switch on, suddenly everything will start working.
I mean, you have covered it all. Nothing to be added from my end. I'm glad you really very nicely highlighted this point of why am I here. Thank you so much.
So we are also taking 31
Next
with,
verse.
yeah.
Okay.
So friends, we are now on chapter 1, text 31. Nacha shreyo na pashyami hatva swajanamahave na kangshe vijayam Krishna nacha rajyam sukhani cha. See what Arjuna is willing to give up. I do not see how any good can come from killing my own kinsman in this battle. Nor can I, my dear Krishna, desire any subsequent victory, kingdom, or even happiness. My God, when somebody just doesn't see anything good coming from any endeavor, as Arjuna is now feeling that no good will come from killing my own relations, Krishna, I have lost all desires for victory, for enjoying any kingdom, or even any kind of happiness. And surprisingly, in the middle of this explanation, Prabhupada says, if you are not hungry, you're not willing to cook.
I love this example. So beautiful.
So please, whatever you have thoughts on this, please share.
I mean, this is such an amazing concept. Such an amazing concept. Today only, I was reading in the morning from Prabhupada's Bhagavatam, third canto, and Prabhupada made a point. He was making a point was Jnani versus devotees, and Prabhupada said, even if devotees are faced with failure, they're never fatigued.
Okay.
And the case study of discussion was Vidurji. It's a conversation between Vidur and Maitreya. It was 5th chapter of that canto. Whereas Jnani, they become frustrated when they don't achieve. And they again come back to this whole material realm and try to find some happiness. And we have a classic example of Vidurji. I mean, he failed in his service to really transform the Dhritarashtra, but he didn't give it up. If something like this would happen in today's world, when people, despite their repeated attempts, they don't succeed, often people go and take shelter of some alcohol, or they go and watch some movies, or maybe they develop a lot of suicidal thoughts. Vidurji said, so be it, that's Krishna's plan. And he went out for Padayatra. He visited different temples. So what I take it from here is Arjuna is actually representing our situation in totality. We are highly self-centered and selfish. Therefore, in the previous purport which you were explaining, nobody is bothered about Krishna's interest. We all become too self-conscious, and if it's not for me, I got nothing to do with it. And Arjuna is standing with Krishna, and he's just not even thinking at this point in time, Krishna, what do you want? He's right now absorbed in himself. It's all about I. And therefore, he's just not able to raise his question right now. So when we are too I-conscious, when we are too much into I and mine, whoever we are, this is at least what I have learned so far, seen in my own life, you would be frustrated. Even if you become the president of USA, once your term is over, there will be some court cases filed against you and you have to go to the jail. You can't help yourself.
It's true.
That's it, Roji. Anything else you would like to add?
Yeah, so Prabhupada again begins this with the idea from the last one that without knowing that one's self-interest is in Krishna or Vishnu, conditioned souls get attracted by bodily relationships, hoping to be happy. And then, hoping to be happy in such a strange situation, we even forget how to be happy here. What causes material happiness? Our Vedic culture, where it gives a very strong weightage on what kind of social role you should play. So, like Arjuna is a Kshatriya, somebody could be a sannyasi, somebody could be a brahmana, somebody could be a vaishya, somebody could be a shudra. 4 ashrams, 4 varnas, and there is no strict understanding of superior inferior, because the higher you are, the more you take care of people who are lower. What you see nowadays is a travesty of a proper situation, So we don't go into that topic. But it is said that a Kshatriya, you are a Kshatriya, you did your role properly. You are a sannyasi, you did your role properly. You could be eligible to a very high elevationary post in the universe just by being who you are and contributing to society in a proper way. That's how one can be happy. Now, Prabhupada makes a very wry kind of a comment. Arjuna appears to have even forgotten the moral codes for a Kshatriya. That hey, you have to play your role. You're a warrior. You have to fight. He is not saying directly here, but our acharyas have kind of taken it out. Let me go to the forest. Let me live a secular life in frustration. Twice in the same paragraph, Prabhupada mentions this, that let me just go and live a life of frustration. As a Kshatriya, he requires a kingdom. To get his kingdom, he has to fight and doesn't want to fight. So the sole opportunity for getting a kingdom is to kill his cousins and brothers, reclaim the kingdom. So he feels, let me just go and live a life of frustration. Now, this is something which is such an important thing. Like in the last 200 or so years, such big name philosophers, and they say life basically is meaningless. Nobody should try to understand why we are here. Nobody will understand why we are here. And they make very so-called catchy things like, don't take life seriously. No one ever gets out of it alive. One class, Prabhupada said, the Gita doesn't disappoint. It may not give you the answer which you are looking for. It may not give a palatable answer, at least in the beginning. But it doesn't disappoint you. So this thing of what to do, like we won't take names here. Politics is not our domain. But people who gave the best years of their life for India's independence pre-47 or for India's development post-47, at the end of their life, they were so frustrated. So, this is where the Gita is, our discussion is at a crucial point, that why should Arjuna just go and live a life of frustration when life is meant for something more positive, something more productive? So, that is the final conclusion of this text 31. Of course, Arjuna's complaints are not ending here. He will go on a big kind of a descriptive complaint in the next three verses, 32, 33, 4 actually, 32, 33, 34, 35, which we shall see when we meet next time.
Hare Krishna. So
Krishna.
we'll conclude here our today's podcast, Prabhuji. Then
Yes.
thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you,
Thank
everyone,
you.
for joining. Hare Krishna.